calls to order of the Boundary County Library Board of Trustees special meeting. Do a roll call. Zone 1, Kim.
Present.
Zone 2, Wendy. Absent. Zone 3, Aaron.
Present.
Zone 4, Bob. Present. And Zone 5, Lee.
Present.
Okay, the first item on our agenda is to define the boundaries for the library trustee zones for the upcoming election. And Lee's been working on this with.
You want to approve the agenda items? Or do we have to?
Yeah, actually
If we're not
yes,
changing it, we don't.
Yeah, unless somebody wants to have something else they need to add.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and go as presented here. And Lee's been involved with this discussion that's going on with the boundaries for the upcoming election. And so, Lee, could you kind of just bring us all up to date on what's going on?
So basically, what we did last time, and I brought pictures, and I like pictures.
And
we, the board here, last time, voted, and we agreed to follow this map. Okay? So if you can see, I'll turn around a second. You can see zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, and zone 5. And see how they're kind of amoeba looking? So this is zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, and zone 5. And they're kind of amoeba looking things. They don't really follow any kind of geographic line, like a section line or a township or anything like that. And my understanding at the time we had the vote last meeting is that we were under time pressure to accept this map because we wanted to be prepared for people to run for their zones in March 17th is when that closed. Your ability to apply to be a candidate closed. And so the map had to be accepted 30 days prior to the finalizing or the closing of that candidate date. So at that point, my recommendation, and it was the recommendation of other folks, was to go along and accept what the school board was going to do. And then
the school board adopted that.
They adopted it, but then they appealed it right away.
Okay.
So that's the part that was confusing to me. So the appeal means that, and this is just for reference sake, this is the 2010 census map. So this is zone 1, this is zone 2, this is zone 3, that's zone 4, and that's zone 5. Okay? And so you guys can see, to me it's a much cleaner map. Zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, and zone 5. See how that's all kind of based on section lines? And it doesn't look, it's a lot clearer to understand, correct? Or in my opinion. And so, what the school board is recommending, and they've sent this, or are in the process of sending this to the Education Committee, that then goes to the committee at the State House that sets all these zones up, right? So they're proposing this map, which is, again, very straightforward. So this is zone 1, zone 2 is over there, zone 4, zone 3 is pink, and zone 5 is yellow again. So it's, to me, this is a much more straightforward map. And
following sections and townships.
Sections and townships. And this is actually based on one of the requirements to appeal the map is to base it on current census numbers, and this one is based on current census numbers. And so it may change a little bit here and there, but basically this is what the school board is looking, or the school district is looking to do. So finding out that this is being appealed in such a manner that makes it so completely different than the one we've adopted. The recommendation, and I have emails from Travis Hall, and I have emails from Tim Wilson, basically saying that our best thing to do is to go back and accept the old map and run the May 16th election on the old 2010 census map. So that was the legal recommendation of folks. And I know it's kind of confusing and stuff, but and there's a couple of reasons to do that. And the first reason is that Linda Poston will be unable to set up Zone 5 and Zone 3, which are the two zones that are running, in time to make the May 16th election. Because that's going to involve a lot of, they have to go in and specifically target a person's home and change them to the different voting district.
So even that 30 days is not enough time.
Right, so she has stated that they cannot physically get it done in time to be ready. So if they cannot get it done in time to be ready for the May 16th election, the recommendation of our legal counsel and the county Titus Hall is that we go with the old 2010 map. So I guess we would have to re-adopt the old map.
Okay. Any discussion for Ken?
No, looking at everything, it makes sense for, especially the new map that is based upon what they're appealing for the new map is based upon the correct way that was done in the past, which was by township and sections instead of by block.
Well, and the new map that just came out of the state that they're appealing was done on census blocks, which I'm not even clear what that means, but it's sort of a bureaucratic line that they use to separate out populations. But, so the things you have to do when you're doing a map like this is you have to have all of the different population numbers within each zone to be within 10%. And when we did the numbers, and I couldn't get the numbers to bring with me, but we had at the most a 7% variance between the highest number and the lowest number in each district, and or zone, voting zone. So to me, it's similar in numbers, and hopefully it gets through the board, through the appeals process. But at this point, we don't really have a valid 2020 map, so our bet is to go with the 2010.
Aaron?
Yeah. No, I mean, that it makes sense because it's sort of our last meeting decision to use the weird map is sort of moot anyway because Linda can't do it. So she's going to use the 2010 whether we like it or not, right? Because she can't. Or
well, she just can't physically get 2020 ready in time.
Right,
There
yeah.
just is not a big enough window to go through all that.
Right. So you know, that seeing that organic one and then seeing, you know, this definitely follows population centers. I think probably the rural areas in this county have grown faster than the urban areas just because there's not as much space in the urban areas to grow. So this map makes a lot of sense to me, and I think, do we know when the school boards
So the our school district needs to get the map to the education department 30 days prior to the end of next month, which is when and I can't remember the name of the committee in the State House that sets these things, but that committee won't be looking at this map until like April 20-something-ish. And so, you know, assuming that they adopt what we've put forward, which is based on census data and all that kind of stuff, again, they won't have, you know, not saying that, you know, we violated 30 days and all that kind of stuff prior to the election, but again, the county can't even get that organized. It's not that they can't, they just don't have the person power to get the work done. So even if it's accepted, it's not going to be prepared in time for us to do the voting.
And just historically, I mean, the county is responsible for the library's elections, and
Right.
and we've always, the library board's always went with the same districts as the school board, which otherwise that'd get pretty confusing. But
Well, and if you think about it from the clerk's office, you know, we have a 5-person zone, and the school district has a 5-person zone, and so, or a 5-zone election, however you want to term that. So it just makes sense to me, being efficient, to have those 2 5 zones joined together so they're exactly the same, so the clerk only has to manage one election group. Does that kind of make sense? So that they're not rewriting, they're not following 2 different sets of boundaries.
And both county and our legal representation has recommended
Right.
going with the old until we have that figured out.
Yes.
Okay. So, any further discussion? So hearing none, do we hear a motion for adopting the 2011 zones which would be the same zones that we've had in the past?
2011 or 2010?
I think, well, the 2010 census, but I think it was actually implemented in 2011. Is that
He called it in the 2011.
Yeah, so it's kind of 2011 trusted zones. 2011.
We go back to our existing zones prior to the census.
I'll make a motion to reinstate the 2011 election district map.
Then
I'll second that.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to adopt back to the 2011 map for the election. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, our next item on the agenda is to enter an executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 74-206(1)A to consider hiring a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual agent where and the respective qualities of individuals are to be evaluated in order to fill a particular vacancy or need. So can I hear a motion to enter executive session?
Yes, I make a motion to enter an executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 74-1 or -206, subsection 1, subsection A, to consider a hiring of a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual agent, wherein the respective qualities of the individuals are to be evaluated in order to fill a particular vacancy or need.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, so we'll do a roll call, whether or not to enter executive session. Zone 1, Ken.
Aye.
Zone 3, Aaron. Aye. Zone 4, Bob. Aye. Zone 5, Lee.
Aye.
Okay, we'll temporarily adjourn this meeting here and go into executive session.
Explanation as to why we're doing it. We can post that, you know, similar letter.
Okay. And you can give us all a copy of that too.
Okay.
Okay. So now, call the order or back to our regular meeting. No action was taken during our executive session. We have nothing else on the agenda, so we have if there's nothing else, we have a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I would second that. Okay, motion been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're adjourned.